A criminal turns a corner into a dark Gotham alley. He hears something move above him. He looks up. Nothing. His friends begin disappearing one by one. A scream. Then another. Suddenly, a black shape crashes from the darkness. Before he can react, he's alone, bleeding, terrified, and he still hasn't gotten a good look at what attacked him. This isn't the opening to a horror movie. It's Batman. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to do Batman the right way. Most superhero stories make us want to be the hero. Batman stories often do something completely different. They make us afraid of him. Despite being one of the most recognizable superheroes ever created, Batman is at his most effective when he's treated less like a traditional hero and more like a creature lurking in Gotham's shadows. Because Batman's greatest weapon isn't his strength, his gadgets, or even his intelligence, it's his ability to instill fear in criminals. And the more writers lean into the horror elements that are already built into that character, the more Batman becomes what he's always meant to be: a nightmare for the people he hunts. The first thing I want to talk about is what makes Batman who he is. When you think about Batman, you think about fear, darkness, and the unknown. But that's not all that makes Batman truly Batman. As a child, Bruce Wayne developed a fear of bats after falling into a well and being trapped at the bottom with a swarm of bats. He later used the bat as a symbol of fear, taking his childhood trauma and transforming it into his greatest weapon. But Batman isn't defined by fear alone. What makes the character so unique is his ability to transform fear into something larger than himself. Bruce Wayne understands that a man can be ignored, challenged, or defeated. But a symbol can live on forever. By dressing as a creature of the night and operating from the shadows, he turned himself into an urban legend. Criminals don't see a billionaire in a suit of armor. They see a monster lurking in the darkness, waiting for them to make a mistake. And that's what separates Batman from so many other superheroes. Most heroes want to be seen. Batman wants to be felt. He wants criminals to hear a noise in the dark alley and wonder if he's there. He wants them to look into the shadows and imagine the worst. Batman isn't a man fighting crime. He's a living embodiment of fear. But why is fear so important to Batman in the first place? The answer lies in what Batman represents. At his core, Batman is a symbol. He understands that he can't be everywhere at once, but fear can. Every criminal that hears a story about Batman, every thug that sees a signal in the sky, and every gang member that watches a shadow move across a rooftop is affected by that symbol long before Batman ever arrives. That's why the image of the bat matters so much. A bat is a creature of the night, something associated with darkness and the unknown. By choosing that symbol, Bruce turns himself into something larger than a man. Batman becomes an idea, one that exists in the mind of Gotham's criminals 24 hours a day. And that's what makes Batman so effective. He doesn't just fight crime when he's throwing punches. He fights crime when a criminal decides not to commit a robbery because they're afraid of who or what might be watching. The symbol does the work way before the man ever has to. In many ways, Batman's greatest victories aren't the criminals he catches. They're the crimes that never happen because people are too afraid to test whether the legend is real. One of the most fascinating aspects of Batman's character is that, unlike most superheroes, Batman isn't the mask. Bruce Wayne is. When we think of superheroes, we usually assume the costumed identity is the alter ego. Clark Kent is a disguise for Superman. Peter Parker puts on the Spider-Man suit. But Batman operates in reverse. That billionaire playboy persona Bruce uses to present himself to the world is carefully constructed, a performance designed to take the attention away from who he really is. The real Bruce Wayne died in the alley with his parents. Everything that came after that was shaped by that moment. Batman isn't a role Bruce plays at night, it's the identity that emerged from his trauma. The smiling billionaire that attends galas and charity events exists only because Batman needs him to. When I think about that, I think about the dinner scene with Patrick Bateman and Evelyn from the film American Psycho. Many horror villains hide their true nature behind a normal, charming exterior. Just like Patrick, they blend into society, pretending to be someone that they're not. Patrick sits at the table carrying on a normal conversation, but the audience knows there's something deeply unsettling beneath the surface. The mask is convincing, but it's still a mask. You see a similar dynamic with Andrew Winchester from The Housemaid. To the outside world, he's wealthy, successful, and charismatic. But under all that, it's still a mask. Bruce Wayne functions in much the same way, except his hidden identity is being used for a heroic purpose rather than a sinister one. The principle is still the same. The version of himself that the world sees is still a performance. Batman is the truth underneath. The public persona exists only to conceal his true self. And when you look at a character through that lens, Batman starts to feel less like a superhero, more like a figure from a gothic horror story. By day, he walks among Gotham's elite, wearing a mask of wealth and charm. By night, that mask comes off, revealing the creature that has been lurking beneath the surface all along. And if Batman is the true self hiding beneath Bruce Wayne's mask, then it makes sense that Gotham's criminals don't see him as a hero, but as a monster. Batman works as a horror character because horror is already built into his DNA. His story begins with trauma. His greatest weapon is fear. Like in this scene here from Batman Begins, we see Batman use the fear toxin against the Scarecrow, and we truly see how the villains view him. His symbol is designed to make criminals afraid long before he ever arrives. More importantly, Batman understands something that most heroes don't. People fear what they can't understand. That's why he hides in the shadows. That's why it became a symbol. And that's why Bruce Wayne's the mask instead of Batman. And that's why Batman works so well when he's written like a horror character. Because deep down, he always has been one.